presume you will not be at the Spring Made Pier event on Thursday. That's going to be something that Rose's team handles right at the pier. Awesome.
So that is the beauty of being a certified fishing instructor is you guys, once you feel comfortable, you can run your own program. We get you the equipment, we get you everything. We don't give you a boat, but we get you everything that you need to get your programs off the ground. Like if you need rods and reels and whatever, we get everything for you so that you can teach, so that a lot of times I can't be there, so that you guys can do what you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you host the saltwater instructor trainings, when they are on, do you go over? I remember when I did ours, it was virtual, and I believe Matt and Olivia were the hosts for that particular one, and we went over things as far as the knot tying and things like that. Is that something that continues with the instructor? In fact,
yes,
I think I've got. You're going to be so proud of me. Look, I've got all my ropes to practice my knots. See? So they still do that, correct?
Yes, we do that, and we send them a digital version of the handbook so they can look over it. Because unfortunately, we have people that register, and then if I mail out everything to people that register through Eventbrite, but then they don't actually join the training, and that's just money wasted and supplies wasted. So we wait until they're actually interested and go through the training to see if this is a program they're actually interested in, before we send out everything.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk a little bit about, well, there's going to be a public open house, or an open house that is open to the public.
Yes.
You have that's coming up. And I know you're very excited about that. And it is going to be a big event. And there are going to be a lot of other departments there that maybe anglers and outdoorsmen may be interested in attending. Tell us a little bit about the open house.
The open house is Saturday, March 22nd. It takes place at the Fort Johnson campus where the Marine Resources Division is housed. And it's basically where the public can come in and see all the wonderful research and programming and everything that we do at MRD. They can come in and they can see it. They can actually get their hands wet, if you will. And they can kind of learn a little bit and get have a better understanding of what we do, because a lot of people, well, most of the time they just see our logo and they think we're law enforcement. We're just thinking a game warden, which isn't true. But it's a great way for the public to really get a good grasp of like all the different cool things we do, especially with like horseshoe crabs and sharks, blue crabs, for example, our educational programs, all the way to the research vessels that go offshore, and tagging fish. There's just so much that we do. And then there's different agencies and nonprofits that'll be there as well. Like NOAA, we'll have a NOAA building on campus, so they'll be there. It's just a fun way to learn a little bit about what the Marine Resources Division does.
Now,
it's free. It's free for the public.
That I presumed that it would be. But now let me ask you this. You said you can go and kind of get your hands wet. Is there going to be some interactive things like we're going in and petting some horseshoe crabs? What's going on?
I'm not sure. So they're still working out a lot of the different activities. I think I'm going to be doing some of the fish printing. So last year, or every other year. So the last time we did fish printing, and we had like a casting game. We'll probably do the same thing for our group. I think they had an observation tank where you could look at blue crabs and horseshoe crabs. And they had our observation tank where there were all kinds of different saltwater fish in there, flounder and red drum. There will be tours inside some of the MRD buildings where you can see some of the hatchery fish that are in there. Sometimes I think they're going to do timed tours of some of the bigger vessels that we have, like our research vessels. So it's all interactive. It's great for schools, anybody that's interested in science or marine science. I mean, everybody will be there. So if you have questions, sturgeon group will be there if they have questions about sturgeon.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
that's awesome that all those different groups will be there. I guess in even somebody like Noah, I presume if you've got, they're going to be there doing some presentations as well.
Yeah, we all kinds of different booths, and like it's
Right.
outside, so they'll have like tents and everything kind of set up, and you walk around to the different stations. I don't know if they're going to do it this year, but they did it 2 years ago where they had a little kind of like a little passport, and you would get a stamp. The kids would get a stamp for each station, and at the end of each day, or it was one day, at the end of the day, if you got all your stamps, you got a cool prize. And I think it was like this cool bug finder. Like it was like you put your bugs in it and you could sit there and watch them. I don't know what they're doing this year.
Okay.
So because it's still still planning. I mean, we know what day it is, what time.
Right.
We know a little bit about that, but just stay tuned. The big announcement will be coming out soon.
Okay, awesome. And so once again, that's going to be March 22nd.
Yes, Saturday, March 22nd.
Perfect, perfect. I'm excited to see that. I think I'm going to try to clear the schedule to get down there.
Yes.
And
we'll be asking for fishing instructors.
Oh, okay.
And we will provide you with lunch.
Hey, how about donuts?
I will pick you up donuts.
Yes, you know about the donuts. Okay, good. Then I think I'm in. Awesome. So Pam, let's talk a little bit about, I want to go back to the Take a Kid Fishing Day. You mentioned now that we are up to 7 piers, and that's amazing. There were 6 piers that you had this season, and
yes.
now you will have 7 coming up. Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot of gear.
So the other pier, it's one. This past year was the first time I'd been there. It's a small pier, and you wouldn't think that they fish off of there, but I think they just started allowing fishing. It's in between 2nd Avenue and Springmaid, I think. Do you remember the one I'm talking about?
I don't.
I do not remember the name of it. She reached out to me just kind of randomly asking about it. And typically it's not one that they fish at, but now they do. And I'm like, okay, it'll come to me in a second.
That's okay. But you've added that since one.
And yeah, and it might only be like 10 slots for a kid, but they are very interested. And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to write it down. So we'll have an extra little pier, and who knows, there might be some private piers that open up that might be interested. I mean, as word gets out, more and more kids are interested. I'm good, because we had 181 kids attend Take a Kid Fishing Day.
Terrific.
Okay. Out of 200. So that's a lot.
That is a lot. Okay. And, the nice thing about that event is what the kids get. Not only do they get to enjoy fishing, but you guys really put the effort in to make sure that when they have the opportunity to come, and this might be their first time, the majority of them, it is their first time, if I'm not mistaken, Pam, but first time that they get to go saltwater fishing, maybe pier fishing, you guys set them up so they can do this, for the long haul. You provide them the proper equipment, and then they get to take the equipment home.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We try to. It's not like top of the line of equipment, but as long as they take care of it, it'll last them a few years. We want them to be able to enjoy fishing and to be able to go fishing, a couple more times after that. And equipment shouldn't be the reason why they can't go fishing. And we all know how much saltwater fishing equipment is. Yep. So that was the reason that we really wanted to push Take a Kid Fishing Day. So each year it's something different. Last year we did the bigger pier fishing rods. And then this year we did, or I guess it was 2024, we did the inshore rods that were capable of handling pier fishing. And then this upcoming year, so 2025, I think we are probably going to do some decked out tackle bags or tackle boxes that have everything that you would need to, get started inshore, pier, and surf fishing. So everything from hooks to popping corks to weights, everything you would need. You would have everything in that tackle box. You would just grab it and go, except for your bait, obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
So for a lot of the kids that have been, coming to these, they should still have the rod. Now they'll have the tackle box.
Yeah, that is great forward thinking, actually.
Yes.
Right. Because now it's full circle. They've got their rods. Of course, they're going to take care of their line and everything else, but now they're going to have a tackle bag ready to go.
Right.
That's cool. And of course, your bait, you're going to grab at the pier when you get there, which is.
Or if they're surf fishing, they can dig for sand fleas.
Yeah.
Or maybe they can learn to throw a cast net and they can catch finger mullet that might be in the surf or something.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's the great thing about some of the clinics that are out there. They'll learn that, right? As long as they attend, they'll be able to learn it.
Right.
Pam, one of the things that reasons I brought you on, some people know this, and we did talk about art a bit earlier, especially with when Dave came up. And I know that you want Dave to adopt you because he has the same fondness for art that you do. But you are a fabulous and an absolutely terrific outdoor wildlife artist. And I asked you if you were able to bring some pieces to show everybody here for us. And you said you did.
Did. So I actually just finished this one over Christmas break. So my coworker and I and my other coworker went on our first dolphin fish trip, and we each caught. Am I allowed to cuss on this show, or do you bleep it?
Well, go ahead. We'll take care
of
it. As long as it's not too bad.
early in this trip, we were dubbed the Bonita Bitches.
Oh, okay.
And then when we finally all three caught mahi or dolphin fish, we were called the Mahi Mamas.
Hey, yes.
So I took all three of our dolphin fish from that trip and made her own.
Oh my gosh.
There might be a little bit of a shadow. There we go.
That is amazing.
This is her dolphin. I haven't framed it yet.
Wow. And you haven't signed it yet, I noticed.
I haven't signed it yet. I got to get it matted and framed. I actually got to find somebody that's really good at calligraphy to write Mahi Mamas under here.
Oh yeah. Now, so wait a second. Look at that artwork there. And you're not a calligraphist.
No, I have horrible handwriting.
Is that even the right word for it? But yeah, that is so cool. When you were sending pictures of that, I noticed that is done in pencil, correct?
Yes.
That just blows my mind. I thought for sure it was like watercolor. You painted this for certain. I didn't even know they made white pencils that would do things like that. But holy cow, Pam. Now, that's got to take you a while.
It does. Okay. Especially one, a little bit larger. And some of these smaller ones, sometimes I will, go back and forth. If pencil's not doing something, I'll do watercolor. So I was working on, the red drum.
Oh, nice. And is that in pencil as well?
That is in pencil. So I have sometimes pencil gets small. I have a little pencil extender that grabs them, so you work on that. And some of these are ones that I had been working on since way before COVID, and I just picked them back up.
Wow, that's what a
sorry, there's a bad shadow. There we go.
What? Oh, that's amazing. So pencil is your favorite medium then?
I go between pencil and watercolor. I really like watercolor. It's one of my favorites. Okay. So this is more of one of the watercolors.
Right. Oh, wow.
And as you can tell, sometimes if I sneeze or if I move too sharply, I'll drop the paintbrush. And with watercolor or paint, you can't get it off the paper. So then sometimes I'm stuck with this random dot.
Oh, okay. There you go. I see that I see the dot.
Yeah.
I asked you, I said, how do you envision that? Now I saw another picture you did with where the redfish was underwater. It was a tailing redfish and the reflection. Yes. Do you have that?
Columbia has that.
Okay.
So that was
Wow.
so that was the hardcore hard card license from 2 years ago. So they get Columbia, which is the headquarters of DNR. They own the originals after I get done with them. So that was actually a photo. The landscape was a photo from 𝗙𝗶𝘀𝗵𝗶 Sound, which is above Mount Pleasant.
Okay.
Is where one of the first places I learned to walk the flats fly fishing for reds. And then I just took some red photos that I had and just kind of put them together and then drew it like a redfish was kind of halfway underwater and then it was tailing a little bit.
Yep.
And then just added everything inside.
Wow. I mean, to have that, the vision in your mind, I mean, with reflections and the water being.
I do still have my brook trout though. I can grab it real quick.
Yeah, grab that. Wait till you see what she's going to be bringing here. This fabulous brook trout as I enjoy my coffee. Pam also does the, as she mentioned, the hard cards for the, wow. Yeah, that's nuts. Come on.
So this is one that, because the headquarters in Columbia, they're in the process of moving from downtown Columbia to the farmers market. We haven't been able to get everything together for them.
Mm-hmm.
So this hasn't been sent up there to get framed and to hang in their new office. So this is the watercolor that is this past year's, or the one that's current right now on the hard card license. So it's one of those underwater scenes of brook trout.
Yeah, that's just amazing. Now, Pam, while you were grabbing that piece of artwork there, now let me ask you, how long did it take you to do that? Wow, that is something.
Yes, this watercolors take me a little bit longer than normal paintings just because you can't mess up, because you can't erase them or you can't go over them like acrylic paint, for example. So it takes me a while.
Like a year?
No, not a year.
Okay, it might take a lifetime. Wow.
A lifetime. It takes me, it would probably, putting all the hours together, it would have probably taken me maybe a week's worth, just like working on it.
Okay.
You know, a little bit every day.
Wow, what a talent.
Because sometimes with watercolors, you know, you have to like build your colors up and then build your detail.
I don't know. But I tell you what, I enjoy looking at it. That is absolutely terrific. Now, Pam, you're doing the hard cards for this year coming up.
Yes.
Well, did you say what they were going to be?
It's going to be a sheep's head scene.
Yes.
For saltwater, because we alternate between freshwater and saltwater fish. And then it's going to be a quail or a bob white scene. So I haven't decided. So I've drawn it out, but I'm not happy with it with the perspective yet. And I haven't started it. That's why I don't have it out here for you to see. Okay. No dogs, but it's either them going to be flushing or them kind of sitting in some upland habitat.
Okay. Awesome. So you're doing 3.
No, it's just 2.
2. Oh.
If I change the bob white / quail, some people call them northern bob white, some people call them quail. But if you Google it, you get all kinds of different birds. So it's the bird that we use, you know, northern bob white here, and then it's the sheep's head.
Now, you were at an event this past year where you actually did a cooler that was signed by a couple of legends, I believe, right, for an auction. Now, how cool is that your artwork was signed by, I believe it was Roland Martin and Jimmy Houston?
Yes, Roland Martin and Jimmy Houston. It was a bass scene on a Yeti cooler, and it was so cool seeing them sign that and then getting my photo taken with them. And, you know, they auctioned it off, and that was just the coolest. And it was a bass, you know, a largemouth bass jumping out of the water, but it was a very similar scene that you would see on Lake Marion or Lake Moultrie or even the Cooper River system. Yeah. So, of course, Roland Martin goes on to tell me his stories about fishing on the Santee Cooper lakes, and I thought that was really cool.
Oh, yes. Yeah. He did a lot of shows there, too.
Yes.
Now, Pam, you are a very seasoned angler. You love to get out and fish.
I love fishing.
What is your number one style? Is it fly fishing? And I think I might have asked you this before, but what's your number one style of fishing? What do you enjoy the most? Because I know you take off and you go to places for fly fishing. And where's Pam at? She's in the mountains.
I like fly fishing, or not necessarily. Well, I like fly fishing because you don't have to have a boat.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of places, like access for it, is a huge issue in a lot of places. And so fly fishing, you can just grab your rod and you can just find water and you can fish. So I like fly fishing because it's also minimal.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like fishing for sheep's head.
Oh.
So obviously it's better to have a boat and a trolling motor. So
yep.
It depends on what mood I'm in, but I really like fly fishing. And I do take a spinning rod with me if I'm, going out west or going to, up north or something. I do have a spinning rod that I take with me.
Now, do you go into the year, like going into 2025, do you have any trips that you're planning to take off? And yeah, you do. What's on tap for Pam? Where are you heading?
I'm going to Alaska for 2 weeks.
Oh, come on. Awesome. Okay. And what are you going to be fishing for in Alaska?
Whatever salmon are going to be running. We might be catching the tail end on some of those runs. I want to catch a 𝗙𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗏, and it would be nice to catch an Arctic char.
Oh, yeah.
I've caught Arctic grayling, but I've never caught them in their native range. So it would be nice to catch an Arctic grayling in their native, area, their native range, and really anything that bites.
Now, will it be mainly a fishing trip, or will you be doing some hunting as well?
No hunting, just fishing and going to Denali to see Denali, and doing a little sightseeing. I want to go see, I would love to see an orca, and I would love to see a sea otter in person. So those are like two things I'd like to check off my list.
Cool. It sounds like it's going to be a fabulous trip.
But lots of fishing.
Yeah, lots of fishing, and you're going to be heading up for 2 weeks. And now, I'm not familiar about the time of the year. When is the best time of the year to go up there to do that?
It depends. We're going towards the end of August and the first week of September.
Okay. And is it that time of the year? Well, I presume there's still going to be plenty of daylight.
Yes, plenty of daylight. Still, there's still fish. We were just trying to avoid the crowds and the mosquitoes, and it kind of worked best for our schedule.
Yeah. And it should be nice weather, hopefully.
Yes, hope so.
Dear. Pam, I want to thank you for joining us for the show. Thank you so much for sharing some of your artwork with us.
Of course.
I look forward to grabbing this season's hard card again. To add it with the rest, and I look forward to seeing you at the next event. And it may be down at Hadrill's. I might try to get down there. I believe on Sunday.
I'll be there. I work all day Sunday.
All day Sunday. Okay.
Yep. The shad fishing seminar is from 12:30 to 1:30, and then we have a women's meet and greet just in case any women are coming to the Hadrill's Expo from 2 to 3. There's a women's meet and greet because we also offer women's fishing classes. So there's that if there's any female anglers that are interested in learning about fishing.
Perfect. It sounds like it's going to be a good event. I am certainly looking forward to popping down for it and saying hello.
Right.
But Pam, how can people find you if they want to follow you and see some of the artwork that you post? What's the best way?
I'm on Instagram, so you can follow me on Instagram at Instagram/acrosstheplains.
Yep, across the plains.
Yep. I don't do, unfortunately, a lot of our TikTok is blocked at work, so I don't really do TikTok or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, for all of our listeners here, they know I don't do TikTok either. I think our main thing is Instagram, and it'll get shared out to the other platforms as well. But
pretty much
Across the Plains over at Instagram. Go follow Miss Pam Corwin. Check out some of the fabulous artwork that she does. And you can follow her and check out where she goes fishing. Post some terrific photos of the places that you go, and it's enjoyable to see. But, Pam, thank you so much for joining us again, my friend.
Absolutely, anytime.
Thank you.